Hello everyone! We are live. Thank you for joining the Green Futures field for our first episode of Earth Online. So I hope this is all working. Let me know if you can hear and see okay. And we should be live on Facebook, YouTube and Periscope, otherwise known as the Twitter live stream platform. And thanks for being here with us. We've got this first episode is going to be all about women in music. Green Futures Festivals presents Earth Online is a monthly online series which is going to have a different theme every month and a different presenter. So I'm honoured to be the first host here and talking about women in music this month. We're going to speak to diversity campaigner Vick Bain, who's done loads of incredible research and work for gender equality and diversity equality in the music industry. And we have two performers that are going to perform, and they're amazing and they're friends of mine. First up we'll have Rosie Bergonzi, and then we'll have Charlotte Campbell. And thanks for letting me know, everyone, that it's all working. That's great. Hi everyone, Ian, John, Keith, Edward, Will, Michael, Julia, thanks for tuning in. Feel free to share the stream and on whatever platform you're watching on, and invite more people to watch, because the more the merrier, I always say. So I'm going to kick things off with a song. And I wanted to play you my latest single, Carry Me Home, but we had a few issues of performing it on Facebook last week with copyright, even though I own the copyright. So instead of playing my latest single, I'll play Wasteland, which was my first ever single. And feel free to go check out the video for Carry Me Home, because it's been created with lots of different people in lockdown sending in their videos. So that was a really fun experience. And I know that Green Futures and Kingston Green Radio are all about community, and I really felt a strong community vibe making that video with everyone. That's Carry Me Home. But for now, I'll be playing Wasteland. I'm caught in a wasteland. All of the lights can't help me out of the quicksand. Light a fire, light a fire. The precipice calls me, singing my name, but it sounds like a warning. Play it again, and do. Tried running and I tried hiding. Tried fighting and I tried lying and I tried falling and I tried flying and if I keep fighting, then I'll die trying. If I run, if I hide, it's lonely on the other side. If I run out of time, it's only mine, and I've fallen out of light again, and I've fallen out of time again. I'm caught in a sideshow. All of the lights are on a different slideshow. Play it again and do. I tried running and I tried hiding and tried fighting and I tried lying and I tried falling and I tried flying and if I keep fighting, then I'll die trying. If I hide, it's lonely on the other side. If I run out of time, it's only then it isn't mine, and I've fallen That's my song, Wasteland. And I just thought I'd sing a little song to start the proceedings and introduce the show. Thank you very much for those lovely comments, everyone. And thank you for being here with us. I'm really excited for this and very honoured. Thank you to Green Futures for letting me host this first stream, Earth Online. So our first guest, if she's ready, I'll give her a little introduction. It looks like she's ready. We met playing in the band for a brilliant artist, another great inspiring woman in music, Nena Cherry. And she is a fantastic percussionist, and she's recently found her voice, very literally, not just playing drums, but also speaking, rapping, poetry about a very important subject. And she's absolutely fantastic. Please welcome the amazing Rosie Bergonzi. Hi,
Hello.
Rosie. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm good, thanks.
Thank you so much for being here.
No, what you've done that really rude thing you do, where you invite me onto a show and then you sing like that just before I'm supposed to do things, and I really wish. It's just cruel of you. It's just cruel.
Don't be silly. You're amazing.
No, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So I'm actually just going to hand straight over to you because you're going to share some songs with us. And it's totally up to you what you do, but I know I'm going to love whatever it is. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Over to you.
Cool. Yeah, thanks so much. So, as Cerian said, I'm a drummer. Drummers and percussionists are known for hiding at the back of rooms, and sure, we might make a loud noise, but we are not used to being at the forefront of things. And that was fine. I was very happy with that. And I play the handpan, and I'll be playing a little bit of that. That's this instrument down here, and I'll be doing some percussion in just a moment. But firstly, I wanted to talk about what inspired me to start using my words. And actually, Cerian was really, really useful in that we workshopped some of this poetry together. I was inspired by the reaction to the Black Lives Matter movement following the death of George Floyd. I was amazed, overwhelmed, shocked by this outpouring of grief and interest from my white friends who previously hadn't seemed to really engage in the fact that I was black and my lived experience was different from some of them. And I just felt like I suddenly had some words to say out of nowhere. So in about a night, I wrote this and I chatted with Cerian, and she was like, yeah, this is like quite good, mate. And I was like, oh, cheers. And I bust into my living room the next day and I said to my housemate, I'm going to write a song. And she was like, okay. And I was like, will you help me film it? She was like, yes. So in response to this mass of words and feelings and emotions, I wanted to focus in on the fact that I'm not a hashtag. Black Lives Matter is not a hashtag. It's something that we need to live with and work with and make a habit of. And many spaces, whether it's an all-white space, it's a mixed space, it's a black space, making sure that everyone is embedding a little bit of talking about race and it's not just a trend, it's for life. So this is my first poem. It's called I'm Not a Hashtag. It's called, that's not what it's called. But yes, have a listen to this. I'm not just a hashtag. I was black before you cared. Lockdown life and sourdough madness. Hashtag follow my liberal sadness. You didn't care. It wasn't cool. I don't trust you, white folk, to stay interested. I don't trust you, white folk, to stay woke. Tweeting is fun when Instagram pings. When the likes pour in, Facebook gives you the win, but it won't be hip soon to be no longer talking to white people about race, to leave white fragility and pride of place. You can't keep this up, you won't sustain this pace. I don't trust you, white folk, to stay woke. Prove me I'm wrong. I want this year to be different. Maybe 2020 is the year you're all gonna listen. I don't trust you, white folk, yet. You didn't know our suffering before, okay. Bore no witness to our trauma before, okay. That stuff doesn't happen over here, okay. You told yourself that, okay. But you know better now. Because I'm still black, but today you care. So if you're listening, vow to change yourself and anyone you reach. Everything you learn is something you can teach. I want to trust you, white folk, I do. But you have to stay connected. Every day, every week, every year, this cause is our cause. And your anger, your thirst for change isn't a candle that flares and dies with shares its embers. That seed every day till you're filled with fire and you can't stay quiet. Make caring a habit when there's no dead point to stoke you. Stay awake and listen when we tell you what we go through. Amplify, black voices, and care. Care about me. Care about this. Care about all of us. I want to trust you, white folk. I do. Don't leave me as a hashtag. I'm more than just a hashtag. So the weird thing about live streaming is no one claps and I don't get to breathe. But
Loved it.
Yeah, it's a whole new thing for me, this poetry thing and this speaking and performing in this way, and I think I'm enjoying it. It really does terrify me, so I'm definitely feeling some sort of an emotion about it. So I wanted to move on through the poetry, and what you might have heard in that piece was an instrument called the handpan, which I brought up, and I wanted to play an instrumental now. So the handpan is a reasonably new instrument. It was only invented this century in 2000, and it's brilliant. I love it. So using it in sort of rap and poetry was just a way for me to try and combine, because all those beats that I played, they were played live on a cajon and a shaker and a tambourine. So I wanted to play a piece for you just using the handpan. So it's a little bit like a steel pan, but you use your hands. And this piece is inspired by the riverside. It's inspired by the Oxford River, which I went to see last week with one of my friends. But it just the way that a river changes and flows and grows. It's kind of about bringing a little bit of hope and a little bit of joy and cheer, I hope, to a world which doesn't always feel super cheerful. So it's about rivers. Thanks. Oh, yeah, it's nice. Right, to continue my set of absolute disconnect and jumping around, we're back to spoken word. And so I've made a YouTube channel. That's the thing I did in lockdown, was sort of putting a lot of things on YouTube. And I kind of went through like a crisis because it started off as me playing like the timpani and the vibraphone, which is like what I do sometimes for my real job. And then I started playing handpan lessons. So if you want to learn about like rhythm or the handpan, that's the place to learn about it. And then, as I said, I got into this poetry and spoken word thing, and then did that too on there. And now I don't know what's going on there. And I think it's a real reflection of who I am as an artist. A hot mess. Yeah, so I wanted to do, I guess, is it a world premiere, a debut? It's the first time I've done it. This is the point. And I'm not just saying that to excuse myself, because it turns out rapping is really hard. And I didn't know that when I wrote it. I didn't realize that I was going to have to say all the words. So I'm going to really try and do them all in the right order. But this song is called Nothing Isn't Enough. And it was kind of as a response to the first one, which I put out, and people said things about it. And mostly they were nice, and sometimes they weren't. And I had a lot of people kind of asking me, well, Rosie, like, what can I do? How can I fix racism? And I was like, I don't know the answers to how to fix racism, but you could start by doing something. There's a lot of people who seem to feel like, I don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed by how to help or how to be a good ally. And my answer is just try doing something. Nothing and standing by and letting things happen isn't enough. And it's not these terrible hooded baddies that we're really talking about. We're talking about 1,000 small things that are happening on the day-to-day. So this one's called Nothing Isn't Enough, and it's the first time I've ever done it in real life. But you can see the video on my YouTube, so if I get it wrong here, you can watch it right over there. But yeah, this is called Nothing Isn't Enough. Racist is a big word. It's hard to make it stick. That was me cheating. I accidentally played the one that has me doing the right words on. So I'll give it one more go, but there should only be one me talking this time.
Wait, I'm just going to interject quickly as well.
Please do.
Just to say, just to make sure that your headphones aren't hitting your shirts, just so that we can hear your voice
still
100% clearly, because we love what we're hearing.
Thank you, Cerian.
Yes, that's good.
I do move around a lot. It's true. I'll try and
sorry, and now I'll let you do it because it's amazing.
Be still, Rosie. Be still. Racist is a big word. It's hard to make it stick. If I suggest you wear it, you'll be sure it doesn't fit. But when every person with dark skin has suffered abuse, who's doing it? Clearly someone's confused. You don't think I'm subhuman, undecided if protest is wrong. You rarely say the N-word, only while singing along. You're definitely one of the good guys. You hate the KKK, and honestly, you don't see colour. It doesn't really matter these days. But doing nothing isn't enough anymore. The man who spat on me for my skin, he wasn't you, it's true. The officer who punched me for my skin wasn't you, but who? It's not you who touches me in the street, who tugs on my hair, kisses your teeth, stands up over me, shouts, "Oi monkey!" Chose a dark night to follow me. But somebody does because somebody has, but who? Someone you know. They're all part of your system. Just a link in a racist chain, keeping us enslaved. Doing nothing isn't enough anymore. The words that hurt know the face that scowls, the tongues that talk know the eyes that roll, mouths that shout know lips that spit, hands that shove know fists that hit, and we all know the knees that kill. For years it's been deemed acceptable. To those who die most are always my people, it's all connected. But doing nothing isn't enough anymore. So try something. One word you speak in defence of our fight. Ripples, spreads, builds power overnight. Just one utterance of, mate, that's not on. And change has begun. People, not policies, push forward laws. Alter what you hear behind closed doors. You're static, you're silent, twiddling your thumbs, watching nothing get done. Just another link in a racist chain, keeping us enslaved. Doing nothing isn't enough anymore. Just another link in a racist chain, keeping us enslaved. Doing nothing isn't enough anymore. Our system's left unshaken if everything stays the same. Unless you actually fight for us, nothing will ever change. We need a critical mass of population shouting, "This is wrong! I need to hear your voice. Join with me, sing my song." Alter policy, makes actions priority, call out hypocrisy, acknowledge the colony, self-assess honestly with genuine apologies, but hopeful ideology, end inequality. Be brave, have that conversation, give yourself an education, your 1 degree of separation from somebody who wants me out this nation. Search for the closest ration, they won't be far away, and if they live inside your head, make a change today. Trust, this is an issue, stare at it head on. It's a problem for black people, but it's not a black people problem. It's all of you, sitting still, quietly looking away. Just another link in a racist chain, keeping us enchained. Doing nothing isn't enough anymore. Stop doing nothing, it isn't enough anymore. Break this chain, it's never been enough. Do nothing no more. It's never been enough. Do nothing no more. Hey, we did it. That's mostly how it goes. So I think what this set is about trying to interweave hard-hitting racial rap with life, and I think that's what life has to be. You can't be like, oh, now I'm going to be talking about race and now I'm living my day-to-day. It's just about making small changes and bringing it in and changing the world a tiny bit at a time. So I just wanted to, but Cerian said I was allowed to play 3 songs, and then I asked her really nicely if I was allowed to play 4, and she said I was. So I just wanted to end with something I've been working on. I've had this handpan for like a week, 2 weeks, and I wanted to end with a little version of Lean On Me. So yeah, it's about pulling together, being together, and supporting each other. Thanks for listening and watching.
Brilliant. I'm so glad that you did that to end, because it's such a beautiful song, and we get to see the new handpan.
Yeah, she's a beauty.
Yeah, tell us about that, because it's I haven't seen that one before.
It's mad. So most handpans have sort of 9 notes on, and this one has 17.
Whoa.
So I'm really learning and trying to work with these underneath ones. So it's a whole kind of other thing, because obviously you can't even see where they are. And it's brilliant. So it's working with a maker called Tim Thom, and we designed it together.
Wow.
Really cool and really generous. So it's really beautiful to work together and get this amazing instrument sent to me.
It's amazing, because what you're doing is incredible. You're combining an instrument that not everybody hears every day in everyday life, and it's a really beautiful instrument, the handpan, and then combining that with these really powerful words like that really really they affect me, and they're affecting everyone else. I can see in the comments as well. And I think you're bringing up some really important messages about racism and how we need to keep the discussion going and not just let it be that one hashtag moment. That's such a good line where you say you're more than a hashtag, because it's so true.
And I think it feels like that's where the discussion needs to continue, because while it was popular and trendy, everyone was talking about it. But already it's like, oh, you're still banging on about that Black Lives Matter thing. I thought we solved that. And it hasn't gone away just because it's not trending on Twitter or whatever. So I think continual discussions in every forum, music, politics, anywhere, science, it needs to be continuing. And we all have a responsibility to do that in our community, with our friends, with our family, especially, and at work.
And even if it's just, like you say, in your personal life, sort of checking your thoughts yourself, checking what people around you are saying, considering the experience of others, and employing empathy. And I think one of the biggest problems, and this goes for racism and sexism, is acknowledging the problem as well. A lot of people don't want to even acknowledge the problem. And so, and then of course, you as a Black woman, with the intersection of that, you've got even more barriers, and we need to make sure that we're recognizing those issues. And our next guest is actually doing amazing work in that, who I'm going to introduce in just a second. But before I do, I'm just going to say that, Rosie, because you played the handpan, you are actually giving lessons on your YouTube channel, aren't you?
I am, yeah. So if anyone else plays the handpan, you can go with that. I mean, there's a lot of general rhythm stuff on there. I gave Cerian a shaker lesson on our last live stream, didn't I? I hope you've been practicing.
I did. I am. I've got the shaker and the harp going on.
Can't wait.
I'm not as good as you still, though. You're the master.
I think you're better at the harp than I am.
But yeah, so everybody should go and check out your YouTube channel, and they might be inspired to play the handpan.
Sure.
And they've got videos of your rap/poem. What are we calling it? Rap/poem?
Undecided. I think poem. That's way I don't have to do it too quickly. I don't have to.
Well, it's great. It's great spoken word. Like, I mean, you'd fit right in the spoken word scene.
Well, when we're back to playing live, maybe I'll go and do some.
Whenever that may be. And so your channel on YouTube is just Rosie Bergonzi. Is that right?
Yeah, Rosie Bergonzi performer. But if you search me, I think I should come up.
Amazing. Thank you so much for playing and sharing everything. And I was also so honored that you shared your poems with me, because I was just like, Rosie, this is brilliant. So I'm so glad that you've filmed them, recorded them, and shared them on a big scale, because everyone deserves to hear them.
Well, thanks for being there at 4 o'clock in the morning when I was like, I think I have an idea.
You know me, I'm always there at 4 a.m.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to introduce our next guest now. I can see that she's ready, if she can give me the thumbs up. Yes, got the thumbs up. I'm so excited to welcome Vick Bain, because she is so inspiring to me. She's doing so much great work in the field of gender equality in the music industry. She was the CEO of the British Academy of Songwriters, Composers and Authors for 6 years, which is otherwise known as the Ivors Academy. And she's now a music industry consultant and a campaigner in general. And she has authored a massively influential report called Counting the Music, which shines a light on how few women are supported in the music industry. And she's also the founder of the F List, which is a directory of female performers. So I'm going to welcome Vick Bain, and I'm also going to welcome our other guest, Charlotte Campbell, and we're all going to be here for this discussion. Well, we're mainly going to be learning from Vick, because she is the fount of all knowledge here. So first of all, this is Charlotte Campbell, who's going to be performing later. Hi, Charlotte. Hi. And now our esteemed guest, Vick Bain. Welcome, Vick.
Hi there.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
So,
I really loved it. Sorry, I loved hearing the hand pans. That was beautiful.
Oh, good. Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And Vick tells me that she's added you to the F list, Rosie, and Charlotte and I are already listed on the F list. Keep saying it wrong, F List, which might be a good place to start, actually. Maybe, Vick, if you don't mind talking to us a little bit about the F List.
Sure. So it came about really as a result of the research that I did last year. Last year I spent 6 months doing a really big research research project. Once I'd started, I couldn't stop. Basically, it was a gender audit of the rosters of over 300 UK record labels and music publishing companies. And I counted maybe 30,000 musicians, and I did a gender identification on them as best I could, using photographs and names and other pieces of information about the musicians in bands and solo artists. So as a result of having done that research, and if anyone hasn't read it, I'll just quickly say that the results were pretty shocking, with only 14% of publishing rosters consisting of women, female songwriters and composers. But the surprising thing for me, that was just less than 20% of record labels were women for performing musicians. So that really surprised me. But having published this sort of bad news, in a way it is, but it is bad news. It wasn't exactly welcomed. I don't think with lots of enthusiasm by the music industry. But I realized that as a result of having done all of that research, I had a list, a really comprehensive list of thousands of female musicians and performers who were currently signed to record labels in all sorts of different genres. So I thought, if I extracted all of that information and published it just as a spreadsheet, then maybe that would be able to be a resource for event promoters and festival promoters who were sort of saying, I mean, lots of these promoters have said, in very high profile newspaper interviews, oh well, we've asked all of the women, there are no women out there, women just need to pick up their guitars, all of these excuses that we've all read. So if I just publish this list of thousands and thousands of musicians, then maybe they could use this as a resource for finding female talent. So yeah, I published it at the end of February, and it sort of went a bit viral for a few weeks until lockdown, unfortunately. So I'm really hoping that maybe next year, when festivals, touch wood, when festivals restart and resume next year, that we will have more women on festival stages.
Yeah, it's amazing, because you're so right. That's the criticism I always hear is, well, there just aren't as many female musicians, and it's just not true.
Well, I mean, it's true that there's not as many
being
artists.
signed.
Yeah, there's not as many female signed artists, but it's not true that there aren't any female musicians out there. And yeah, I'm really hoping that this will gather more momentum as we go into next year. So, in fact, I'm rebuilding the website. I've spent lockdown teaching myself WordPress, and rebuilding the website, which will hopefully be launched next month. It's very, very nearly ready, and it's a beautiful searchable directory. You'll be able to put in, well, I want to find a percussionist who's based in London, and they will all come up. Or a jazz violinist in Manchester, or you'll be able to really go into some details. So all of the information is imported in this beautiful new website. So yeah, as I say, I'm hoping to launch that next month, and then hopefully that will really start to get some traction. Yeah, from these festivals.
Pardon? With the festivals,
from all of these festivals, you want to be women.
Because we have the PRS initiative Key Change, which is aiming for 50-50 representation between the genders, and Glastonbury, because of course here we're Glastonbury Green Futures Field has been signed up to that initiative, and Emily Evis is very keen to have 50-50 representation at Glastonbury, and they were going to have it this year had the festival happened. But hopefully next year or whenever it does happen, they'll be sticking to that initiative, because Reading and Leeds is still doing appallingly with its gender representation.
Yes, yes, I know. Big thumbs down.
Big
I mean,
thumbs down.
if anybody has seen the posters, I think it's Lucy McCourt who edits out all of the male acts, and she publishes their festival posters, and it's terrible. It's absolutely shocking. I've not worked out the new percentage, but the festival that was supposed to happen in August this year, when they published the lineup in January, I sat down and I worked out the percentages of women on stage for the three biggest stages at Leeds and Reading. It was 13%.
13.
13% women on stage, yeah. Which is just, as far as I'm concerned, it's unacceptable. I mean, it should be against, equality legislation. I mean, isn't that boring? Isn't that boring
Yeah.
just to have the same four white dudes on stage playing their rock guitars? I mean, God.
And could I just jump in for a second? Because I found, even with the Key Change Initiative, because I was touring a lot last year, and seeing these, big name women and big name men, maybe 50-50 now, the titles of artists. But it's often, I found, it was a big name singer who was then backed by like 8 men.
Yeah.
And it's so, even when the headlines are showing 50-50, it's still not, I saw about 1 female drummer, it might have been me. So I think, but on this festival circuits, even looking even closer and saying, okay, so maybe the singers are 50-50, but the guitarists are 60-40, and certain, it's all the way down. And then not even talking about the sound people and the tour managers. And
it's even worse.
Yeah. So everyone who's involved, it feels like, we need to try and get that equality all the way through, even if on paper it looked good, which it still doesn't for certain places. Then even if it's good on paper, it's still, you have to look even closer. So yeah, just the more women everywhere, not just where we can see them, is so important.
I know, because the other thing that you found in your report, counting the music, was that, I think you said, correct me if I'm wrong, that about 44% of graduates are female in the music courses. So there are a lot of women studying music, and there's a lot of women at the entry level into the music industry, but something goes wrong along the way, and the numbers fall as time goes on. And so we have to try and question why that is, identify the problem, and then try and implement solutions. And I have I got that statistic right?
Yes, it was right. That's for all music students. I think it was about 150,000 people studying music degrees over a 5-year period. So I got that data from a government body called the Higher Education Statistics Authority. So it's very, very accurate. Yes, and it's getting up to nearly 50% of all music related subjects are studied by women. So that pipeline is there. There are lots and lots of girls and young women who want to make music their careers, and yet are not able to do so anywhere near the same level as men. And for female musicians, the drop off or the dropout occurs in their 20s, within the first 5 years of graduating. For women in the music industry, for the actual sort of executive behind the scenes roles, it's in their 30s that women drop out. And the reasons are very similar for both, I think. But a lot more pressure for female musicians, and I totally agree with Rosie that you have to be really careful with these lineups, and sort of and saying with things are 50-50, even Key Change, which are I think is phenomenal, and every single festival should be signing up to it, but even for them, they don't count all of the musicians in the band, or if it's a mixed band of men and women, they still count that. as sort of being equal. So yeah, we have to be really careful when we say things are 50-50. We probably don't mean, oh, there's 50% of the musicians on stage. I think that's the key thing we should be aiming for.
Yeah, and what can we do? I know you're researching. You're doing a PhD now about all about
Mm.
women in the music industry, and um, I just wonder, like, what do we think are the steps that we can take?
Well, I think we have to be very vocal about it, which I think we increasingly are, and there's been some other fantastic reports published this summer, which are shining a light to the inequalities for women, and particular actually for Black women as well. So Nadia Khan, who published her Seat at the Table, Linda Coogan-Byrne, who with Nadia, who published their analysis of the radio UK airplay a couple of weeks ago. All of these statistical data reports are really important because they shine a light on inequalities. So the more we keep shouting about it, hopefully the more we can encourage change. But the gatekeepers in the industry have to be really serious about this as well. And personally, I think a lot of the inequalities, especially for female performers, starts with the labels and the music publishers. Who are they signing? They
Mm,
absolutely have to seek out female talent and invest in their female musicians. In the same to the same extent that they do male musicians. It's absolutely mind blowing to me that nearly 50% of music performance graduates who leave university with degrees, so therefore equally qualified, nearly 50% are female, and yet only 20% of signed artists are females. That's a 30% drop, which is outrageous, actually.
yeah, and I think you're
So
so
yeah.
right about having acknowledging the problem and the statistics, because I often find that at the heart of the resistance to change is the refusal to acknowledge the problem and the notion of meritocracy. People always say, well, if you're good enough, you'll get signed. If you're good enough, you'll succeed. And it's like, no, the problem's much more complex than that. We've got an established culture that is very male and white oriented. And so these reports are brilliant to just highlight the problem so that people can acknowledge it. And then these big organizations, like you say, have to have a responsibility to try and represent voices equally because they are equally qualified, as you say.
Absolutely. And in my report, I sort of discuss quite briefly, really, but I discuss 12 barriers, 12 barriers that impact women, wishing to have music careers, and they do not impact men. So it's not about, are women good enough, or any of this nonsense. It's women have barriers to navigate through that men simply do not. So I think it really behoves every man in the music industry to educate himself about these specific barriers, so that they are more aware and that they can help other women in the music industry. And
Yeah,
and the reason I'm doing my PhD is because I now know what the landscape is, sort of data statistical wise. So I really want to be able to dig a lot deeper into truly understanding what is going on, and therefore what can we do about it to affect positive change for women in wishing to sustain and develop their music careers.
absolutely. I think it's such great research that you're doing. And I know that you've talked a little bit about diversity in general and how that, even within the experience of women, it's different again for different sectors within that, the intersectionality of race, class, um, gender non-binary, all those other different things. Is that part of your research as well?
Oh, absolutely. Intersectionality is at the core. So it's the core theory that I'm looking at, and at the moment. So one of the things that is sort of striking to me. Actually, I'm sort of saying, now I know what the statistics are. I know what the statistics are for women in general, but there's been no research that I know of that looks at ethnically diverse musicians in the UK. There's been there's lots of analysis that's happened in the US, in the United States. They've got lots of data on, they've analysed the Billboard charts. They've looked at the ethnicity of the musicians quite extensively, actually. I think over the past 15 years, there's been none of that done in the UK. So that's a real gap in the research. So, my understanding is if we are anything like America, things are actually pretty okay for African, Asian ethnic minority male musicians who, in the UK music industry, but for women, it's a totally different story, and they are very underrepresented. But that data does not exist for the UK. I'd really like to do more work there as well.
I'll be so interested to hear that, because I know I always I love to quote statistics, because it's one way that people can't argue with a statistic, and I have found
Yeah.
it hard to find statistics on women in music of color. There doesn't seem to be as much research into that, so I think that's a really valuable area that you're researching there.
Yeah, I would. It definitely needs to be done. As I say, they've got this data. There's a fantastic university in California called Annenberg University. They've got a whole department, a whole research department, dozens of PhD students and doctors sort of looking at various aspects of the television, film, and music industries, and they do very good gender and ethnicity data analysis. We do none of that here. So yeah, there's definitely and if you don't know where you are, how do you kind of know where well, how do you know
Where
you
you're
don't know where
going.
you are? How do you know where you're going? So
Yeah.
yeah, so there's some big gaps in our understanding, I think, of the UK music industry. So yeah, I'm a data statistic geek myself, which is why I signed up to do a PhD and look at all of those.
Well, it's absolutely fascinating, and I encourage everyone to follow you on Twitter, because you're always tweeting really interesting things and doing various interviews and different reports. And your website also has links to all the research that you've done, and all the interesting statistics. So everybody should go check out your website, which I think is vbain.co.uk. Is that right?
That's right, yes. And I'm doing lots more consultancy work now. So I'm working with some really fantastic music industry clients, different festivals, actually, electronic dance music festivals, brass band festivals, all sorts of different companies, helping them on their equality, diversity, and inclusion journey. So yeah, it's my life at the minute is women in music.
Well, we're so grateful. And I know that I'm a co-founder of Herd Collective, and we promote and support women in music. And I know, Vic, we've been in touch as well about working with you on the F list as that moves forward. And is the F list going to have its own website separate to your website?
Yes, yes. Very soon. This is what I'm saying. The
Mm.
this WordPress website, which will hopefully be launched next month, alongside the fact I'm sort of putting together. Or I've spent the summer putting together a community interest company, so a not-for-profit social enterprise. So I've got a board, 13 other women and myself from all across the music industry, all different genres of music, and in different areas of the UK, and we're coming together to do other work, not just have the website. So, the website can be the foundation and the focus, but we're going to do lots of other projects which will all have the aim of developing profile and professional opportunities for women in music. So I'm hoping I'm just sort of halfway through all of the paperwork legal paperwork at the minute, but I'm hoping by next month we'll be in a position to launch and announce that. So really, yeah, watch this space.
Oh, we will, and we'll definitely be sharing it on the Green Futures Field accounts, and everybody else in the audience can keep an eye on the F list as it progresses. And if they follow you on Twitter, that's your most active platform, I think, as an @Vick Bain.
That's
Yeah.
Yes, Vick Bain.
Yeah, we've got the handle on the screen so everyone can follow you. And just thank you so much for all the work you're doing. We're so grateful as women in music ourselves, and having first-hand experience of what it's like, that lived experience of being a woman in the music industry at these other levels, the research, the legislation, the implementation, and the diversity and inclusion work that you're doing are so important. So thank you so much for doing that and for sharing all of your research and knowledge with us. We're really grateful.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for chatting to me.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, it's so lovely to talk to you. And we're going to finish now with one more performer, and that is the lovely Charlotte Campbell. If you're ready to go, Charlotte.
I'm just about. Yeah, I think so.
I'll
Right,
give you a little. I'll give you a little introduction.
Okay, right. I'll just get my reverb on.
Get your reverb on. Charlotte is famous for being a busker in London, and she appears all over London busking. She's one of the hardest workers I know. She's just released a single called Thanks to You, which is beautiful, so everyone should go and check it out. And she's absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to give you the screen, Charlotte, and I'm going to thank Rosie and Vick for being here as well. So grateful to have you here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi.
Okay, I think I'm just about ready. I hope you can hear me. Okay, lovely. All right. Well, I'm going to start with a song of mine. Actually, I don't think I did my reverb. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, it's a bit flat. Sorry, 1 second. I'll just hold the guitar out so you know I'm not gone. I'm still here. Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. She solved it. Okay. I'm my own technician as well. All right, I'm going to play a song of mine called Sparkle, which is about a lot of things. And one of the things I don't talk about a lot when I describe this song is just about how much it's about sort of being a woman in the music industry, which I think is a good opener for this discussion we've just had. But it's sort of a funny thing when you're a woman in the music industry. I think something that needs to be addressed a lot is the sort of ageism that there is for women in the music industry, and a sort of feeling that you need to be youthful, whereas men just don't have that so much, that pressure. And it's something that used to get me down a lot, because I felt like I was getting a bit past it to be a musician. And so I wrote this song about that, and about mental health in general, and about the way that you feel on the inside, and feeling maybe like you've lost your sparkle a little bit. For anyone to sort of feel like that, it's easy to forget that actually the way that you see yourself, it's not actually how you're being perceived by other people. And so this is a song about that. It's called Sparkle. You used to be the one with the sparkle. Where did it go? Did you give it away? You used to be the one with the answers. You used to know all the right things to say. I don't believe that you lose it. Your heart doesn't break, you can only bruise it. So if you're not doing so well, it's only you who can tell. Don't you think that it would be so much easier not being hard on yourself? You used to be the one with the sparkle. Where did it go? You look tired today. You can't have it all, or so they tell you. The cracks start to show. Are you feeling okay? You don't have to prove that you're perfect. Don't ever doubt that you're more than worth it. Oh, if you're not doing so well, it's only you who can tell. Don't you think that it would be so much easier not being hard on yourself when it feels like the weight of the world is on your back? You carry it with so much grace, and you'll never lose that. So if you're not doing so well, it's only you who can tell. Don't you think that it would be so much easier not being hard on you if you're not doing so well? It's only you who can tell. Don't you think that it would be so much easier not being hard on yourself? So don't be so hard on yourself. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you. And I really enjoyed that discussion. Thank you so much, Vic, for coming on and speaking with us about that. Because when I found your F list back in February, I felt so united with other women, and it was a really lovely thing to sort of feel part of something. And the Herd Collective, which Cerian runs with Daisy Chute, is the same sort of feeling. Like, it's really nice to feel like there's people who've got your back and who are like working on it, especially that it's being all run by women. Because a lot of these things, like everything, seems to be in the power of men, and it's really, really nice to feel like we're taking back a bit of power. So thank you very much to both of you, and amazing performance from Rosie as well. Thank you very much for letting me be part of this great stream tonight. Thank you. I'm going to play my new single, which I released last Friday. And it's about gratitude. I say thank you quite a lot. I'm always thanking people. I always want to let people know how grateful I am for everything. And so I started writing this song about sort of saying thank you almost to my audience. And when I'm busking, people dropping money into my case, I wanted to have a song that was like a thank you song. But it so happened that I was also falling in love at the time that I started writing this, so it kind of became more of a little love song. And it was sort of about the fact that I felt like I already had a really great life. And I think they say this, when you meet the right person, you also need to be in the right place in your life. And I was feeling like I already had a really great life that I loved very much, and I didn't really think that somebody else coming into it could make it any better. And I think that's a good thing, because I think if you're looking for somebody to complete your life, then you won't find them. But lucky for me, I was sort of I already felt like I had it covered. I was like, I've got a great life already, don't need anything else. And then it got better with another person in it, which I was not expecting. So this song is about that, and it's saying thank you to that person, and it's called Thanks to You. Turned all my good days into great ones, and when there is no way, you know how to make one. You solve all my issues like you're checking off a list of reasons why I should go with this. You turned all my grey skies into blue. You turned all my where are the nice guys into how do you do. You make all my old flames look like embers into dust, and that is why I believe in us. So I guess that I've got you to thank for waking up on the right side of the bed. Now my head is filled with you. Oh, I guess that I've got you to thank for the smile on my face, 'cause every day feels new. It's all thanks to you. It's all thanks to you. You turned all my... Oh, I got that wrong then. You told me enough times that you love me the way I am. You turned all my do I look alright into who gives a damn. I guess that I've got you to thank for waking up on the right side of the bed. Now my head is filled with you. Oh, I guess that I've got you to thank for the smile on my face, 'cause every day feels new. It's all thanks to you. It's all thanks to you. You turned all my good days into better ones, You turn all my okays into only one letter. It only gets better with you. So I guess that I've got you to thank for waking up on the right side of the bed. Now my head is filled with you. Oh, I guess that I've got you to thank for the smile on my face, 'cause every day feels new. It's all thanks to you. It's all thanks to you. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. Thank you. I actually played that one a semitone higher than I meant to. Haven't played it that many times yet. I haven't quite got used to the key. Okay, well, that was a challenge, but yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, guys. All right, well, this is my last one. And thank you very much for having me. As I said, it's a real pleasure to be here. I'm going to play a song of mine to finish called Safe Harbour, which I wrote about a slightly cheesy quote that it says, 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than the things you did. And even though it's a little bit of a cheesy and overused quote, I try and stick by that in my life and go for the things I want while I have the time, and know that I don't want to look back on my life and regret what might have been. And it sort of got thinking about that because I really wanted to pursue a career in music, and a lot of people were saying, you maybe get a job and then you can just do music on the side for fun. And that's a more sensible thing to do, but I've never really been one for the sensible. And that also goes for having my heart broken. I've never really been one for the sensible. I'll just go for what I want, which I hope one day I'll look back on that and know that was the way to live. So this song is about all those things sort of combined, but it's just about going for the things you want while you have the time, and yeah, it's called Safe Harbour. Maybe I'll regret this in the morning. Maybe I will wish that I'd been wise. Maybe I'll regret this in the morning. But right now I can't see past your eyes. Oh, they say you only ever look back on what you didn't do. I don't want to look back on never having you. So throw away the bowline, all the doubts in your mind. Who needs a safe harbor? Who needs a safe harbor? One day we will all look back and wonder about the roads we met but didn't take. And one day I know I'll look back and wonder, but you could be my favorite mistake. Oh, they say you only ever look back on what you didn't do. Oh, I don't want to look back on never having you. So throw away the bowlines, all the doubts in your mind. Who needs a safe harbor? Who needs a safe harbor? And I will be lost at sea. I will be lost at sea. Oh, I will be lost at sea. I will be lost but free. So throw away the bowlines and all the doubts in your mind. Who needs a safe harbor? Who needs a safe harbor?
you so
Thanks,
much,
Cerian.
Charlotte.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say thank you because that's so beautiful, and I loved hearing a little bit more about the songs.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have a little chat about the songs. Yeah, it's a nice thing to be able to do. So thank you. I felt really relaxed actually after that lovely chat with Vic. I felt really like confident in myself to speak. So I'm glad I got to talk a bit about my songs. Thank you so much.
Oh well, she's amazing, Vic, and
Yeah.
and also we need to make sure that we share that your latest single, Thanks to You, is out, and everybody
Yes.
can go find it on Spotify and
It's
iTunes.
on Bandcamp, Spotify, iTunes, all that kind of thing. Yeah, it's everywhere. So yeah, you can.
And
search, yeah.
YouTube.
YouTube, you've got a music video.
There's a video as well. So
And
everyone
it
can
came
go
out
watch that.
maybe the same day as yours, second day
Well,
after yours.
I ended up mine being a week later.
Oh yeah, well don't forget to tell everyone also about your new single.
Oh, thanks, Charlotte. Yeah, mine came out on Friday. Yeah, Carry Me Home. So, because originally we were going to be bringing out our singles on the same day, and
We
we
were
were
always
like,
going to do a joint stream
we were
when we
going to
were
do a
thinking about
joint
it.
stream, and then
But
I
in
had to push it
classic
back.
Cerian style, you were a little bit late.
I was a little bit late, but you know, I'm glad we took that extra time to get it right.
Yeah, exactly. It's worth it.
We'll do a
yeah.
joint stream in the future.
Yeah, well, we're doing it now.
We're doing it. We're doing
Let's do
it.
it again.
And everyone can follow you online. Your handle at
It's C. Campbell Music. Yeah, so
Campbell
double
Music.
C and Bell Music. There it is. Yeah.
at C Campbell Music.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. That was just so beautiful. And it was
Thank
really
you.
relaxing as well. It was a wonderful
good.
way to end a brilliant stream.
Thank you very much.
So
Well
thank
done for
you.
hosting. Thank you so
Aw,
much. And
thank
see
you
you again
so
next time.
much.
Bye.
Bye. So I've been enjoying myself hosting so much that I forgot to mention that we have a tip jar, a Green Futures Field tip jar, and the proceeds of any tips will be shared out amongst the performers and guests that we've had here today. And so there it is, showing up on the screen there. It's a paypal.me link. And I think that someone's also going to put it in the comments so that you can click on it. If you've enjoyed this stream and you want to support Green Futures and Women in Music, and if you're able to, we're very grateful for any tips that you can give. Thank you so much. Thank you also for being here and watching. As I mentioned at the start, this is the first in a brand new series that Green Futures Festivals are hosting called Earth Online. It's going out on the Kingston Green Radio and the Green Futures Festivals YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope, and it's going to be every month. They're going to be a different host. So I've been very honoured to host this first episode, and the next one is actually going to be at the end of September. It's on Tuesday, the 29th of September. So put the date in your diary. It's going to be hosted by Andrew Morris, and he's going to have some more artists performing and another speaker. And put that date in your diary. And in between then, if you want to continue to support women in music, I've co-founded the Herd Collective with Daisy Chute, and we stream every other Tuesday. And we were very grateful to do an hour on the Glastongram Green Futures event in June. Instead of being really at Glastonbury, we were online, and we had Rosie and Charlotte performing on the Instagram section, but we didn't have them on Facebook, so we thought have to get them back. And I'm so glad we did, because we had Rosie Bergonzi to begin with, who was absolutely fantastic playing the handpan and doing her poems, and then we had Vick Bain talking to us about women in music, statistics, identifying the problem, all the fascinating research that she's doing. And then we just had Charlotte Campbell there performing, absolutely brilliant. It was a really beautiful way to finish the stream. And thank you all for watching and being here and supporting us. Do follow Green Futures Festivals. Slightly different handle on every platform, so I think we've had it showing up at the bottom for you to follow on the various platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And we hope to see you at Earth Online number 2 on Tuesday the 29th of September. And this has been so much fun. So thank you to Sam for letting me host this first episode. My name's Cerian, and it's been an absolute joy celebrating women in music with you all. And I will see you again soon. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.